Alright friends, so here is the truth. See, your AI solutions, things like ChatGPT, they're very good for the general public and for general use cases. Perhaps you want ChatGPT to write you a poem or maybe give you an itinerary for visiting New York City. It's going to do a very good job, quite honestly. That said, these particular solutions sometimes are not specialized enough to actually deal with very particular networking use cases. What do I mean? Well, say for example, you want to be dealing in data analysis, okay? Very typically, for this to actually work in any real functional way, you're going to have real-time data and a lot of it, okay? Now, in essence, what this means is that this can overwhelm regular AI systems. After all, they are designed to be much more general purpose, and what we need in this case here is some type of specialized AI. Now, here we go. Here is the product pitch. In the world of Cisco, they have this term known as Cisco's AI Ops. Now, the whole purpose of this is that the AI systems here have been explicitly trained on networking data. So say, for example, if you happen to have some really weird network traffic, what it can perhaps do is detect an anomaly in that traffic. Maybe there's some type of malicious actor and you are detecting some type of threat. Or maybe it's just simply you happen to have a lot of network congestion and perhaps you need to have a decision to reroute your traffic a particular way. In essence, what I'm saying here is that when it comes to AI and these types of use cases, we really need to have these network optimized AI systems. So let me just highlight to you some of the solutions that are involved in Cisco systems. So if I go to my browser here, so if you search for Cisco AI Assistant, and let's just go down to this option right here. Okay, let's click you. What you're going to notice in so much of these new Cisco products, whether it's Cisco Catalyst Center, whether it's Cisco SD-WAN, Cisco Webex, you might notice this little logo here up in the corner of a particular screen. This is the Cisco AI Assistant, okay? In effect, this is like a regular chatbot that you see with ChatGPT, you see with Claude, but once again, it has been optimized for computer networking. So again, let's just scroll down here and see what we see, okay? So you see here, it says that the AI assistant can do things like simplify tasks. It can give you the ability to generate more secure insights into your systems. Again, we can see the assistant is also optimized for security in your network. And below, we can also see here that it is optimized for collaboration. So like I said, inside of your Webex platforms. Now again, I would encourage you to go through and read some of these blogs, get familiar with the features, but for our purposes, let me just give you a very quick example, okay? So what I've done in the meantime is I have reserved the Cisco DevNet Sandbox for the Meraki Small Business and Enterprise. And if I open this up right here, check this out, here is the regular dashboard. Now, we've explored this before, and down the left-hand side, we have our usual options for SD-WAN, for switching, for wireless. However, if we go up to the top right here, see this little logo? You might notice it. See this one here, AI Assistant. If I just click this right here, here we can see this kicks open and we have this option to interact with this chatbot. So we have some automated examples. So if perhaps you want to get some network overview information, perhaps some troubleshooting, maybe some insight into your client or devices or policies and configurations, you can go and click through these options. So say, for example, I want to get a network overview, okay? Some of the auto suggestions are things like security events, like what type of things happened in the past day. Do you want to see your WAN port status? Now in my case here, I don't actually have any WAN stuff, so if I click this and ask the question, you're going to see here we're not going to get very interesting outputs. So it says here quite simply, there are no WAN port status records available for my branch office network. However, in a real environment, you would get the real data in real time. Now, if I go up to the top right here, what I can do is I can change the view to be a full screen if I so wish. Or if I so wish, I could go and make it a floating window whereby I can just drag it around the actual dashboard as I please. So say, for example, I wanted to go and create a new chat. So let's just go up here, have a new thread. Let's perhaps look at some of the troubleshooting options. Maybe you're having an issue with a particular wireless access point. You can click on this right here. Now, again, due to the limitations of a sandbox, I don't actually have the information that is necessary right here, but as you can see, all I would have to do would be to provide one of the following. I could give the name of the access point, or its serial number, or its MAC address, or any identifier or description that you have of the access point, and then the AI assistant having all the context to understand that we're in Meraki, and we know all the capabilities of Meraki, we can actually go and solve the problem knowing the expectations of the Meraki product and what it can do and should do. Now for the moment, if I just go back here, let's just maybe ask something different. Let's go in and have a new thread. So now let's maybe say, how do I configure a client VPN, okay? So ask this question, hit enter. It's going to go and search for the information and answer it via its Meraki knowledge base. And pretty much what we get here is all the relevant information. So it says here, we go to the Meraki dashboard, navigate to security and SD-WAN, go to configure, then client VPN. So let's try this. Security SD-WAN, go into the configure section over here and down to client VPN, click here, give it a moment. It says here we're going to have to enable the client VPN server. So let's just choose enable like so. And then once we've done this, we're going to see the host name, which is the public host name or the IP address the clients are going to use. We'll specify the client VPN subnet, which is the private subnet. And we can specify DNS server, shared secret and authentication, and then save our settings. So in this case here, let's just maybe choose a subnet of 192.168.55.0/24. DNS server, we can specify our own server. So down here, you can specify a custom one. In my case here, let's just use Google's public DNS. Shared secret can just be password 123, which is a terrible password, but nevertheless. And then we specify our authentication. Is it going to be Radius, Meraki, Active Directory? Let's just leave it at Meraki. And then it says here down the very bottom, I'm going to have to go and save my settings. If I go down here and choose save, as we can see here, the changes have now been saved. And if I wanted to set this up, we have all the client information needed to get that up and running. Now, in a similar sense, if I happen to go to Cisco's Webex, let's open this up right here. Now, again, what I'm going to do here is just zoom in a little bit because it might be hard to see, but up the top right here, what you're going to see here is this small little logo. See this right here? Open the Cisco AI Assistant panel. If I just click this, and let me just zoom back out again, what you're going to see here is we have this actual assistant. So down the bottom, I can ask it anything. So again, let me just zoom in a touch. Let's just maybe say, how do I create a new room? And to enter. So again, it's going to go and think. And as we're going to see here, it gives me all the actual steps. So it says here to create a room, we're going to have to open the Webex app. In the left sidebar, click on spaces or rooms. Add the plus sign and then create a room and then enter a name and then add any people via their email address and create. So again, let's just test that. So in the left sidebar, if I choose spaces, click on the plus tab right here, choose to create a space. Now I just enter a name. Let's just say AI room. And then I can add people by email. So let's just add myself. I'll just say IPv0. And then I just choose create or done like so. So give it a moment and now I've created a brand new room. Now again, notice the specificity. I didn't have to say how do I create a room in Cisco Webex with this particular version. It's already baked into the product. We're not trying to create a new room in Discord. This is specific to this particular platform. And pretty much this AI assistant is rolled out across all of the major Cisco platforms, like I say, for Catalyst Center, for SD-WAN, for Cisco's Thousand Eyes, and many, many more.
Thanks for watching. If you're interested in a career in IT or just looking to brush up your IT skills, then be sure to visit cbtnuggets.com for a free trial.